Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 625 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Ailon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our ninth book just came out. It's called From Letters to Leaders, The Legacy of Service, and so many Greek advisors and students around the country are telling us this is the best book in the entire series. So make sure you go and pick up that book. Of course, our next guest is one of the authors in that book. So we're going to talk a little bit about everything, the entire journey, the book writing, the whole thing. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring fraternity and sorority leaders together. Fun fact, every team in the world, whether you're a sports team or whatever team you are, we all have an MVP on our team. And everybody on the Greek U team will tell you that Sarah has the best attitude. She makes us laugh for days and truly supports all of her coworkers in every single way possible. So today, we are going to have a chat with our MVP. Sarah Callazzo used to wear smaller jeans and a fake smile. She liked having as many friends as possible. She would never consider herself a leader. Her camera roll was filled with these progress pictures of her body, and she was fighting a losing battle with herself. She was in denial and was exhausted, but she would have never admitted it. Around 5 years ago, Sarah decided she didn't want to be that girl anymore. She was exhausted from trying to be the girl that does it all. Rather than trying to be a superwoman for everyone else, she wanted to be her own hero. She has been actively working on her own recovery while encouraging others to do the same. Sarah is a proud sister of Zeta Tau Alpha sorority, a former chapter president at the University of Rhode Island, and author of the book Unknown Warrior Battling the Mirror. Sarah just completed her Master of Social Work at Fairleigh Dickinson University in the spring of 2025, and she has recently founded a brand new organization that she is going to tell us all about, and it's called Love a Stranger. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
What an intro. Oh my God. I can't wait to snip the first time I was on this podcast when you're like, hey, this is Sarah, and she went to University of Rhode Island to now all of that. Oh my God. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I mean, you've accomplished a lot in a very short amount of time. I think that is just a testament to your hard work. That's what that is. You did that.
But with a good team along the way, with a good team along the way. You believed in me from day one, which I will always, when I accept my Nobel Peace Prize, I will make sure to mention the Greek U team.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. That is going to be great, and we will hold you to it.
Yeah.
Now, you said that there was a time when your camera roll was filled with these progress pictures and your smile was mostly just performative. So tell our audience, what was that moment when you realized you didn't want to be that version of yourself anymore?
I was exhausted. I was so tired of trying to be this superwoman, as you said before, for everybody else, having the highest accolades, the highest grades, president, dance team, all the things. I was doing everything for everybody else. And on paper, I was like the gold star, perfect child. And I was miserable. I would come home and I would purge. I would skip meals throughout the day. I was restricting. I hated my body. I hated just so many things about myself. And I kind of just reached a point where I was done. I was like, I can't live like this anymore. I am miserable. I deserve better than this. And had a really hard look in the mirror that was like, I am deserving of help. I am deserving of the love that I give everybody else. And it's really start timing that I put that kind of effort back into myself. And it was a very difficult day. I do not want to make it sound like it was glamorous at all, but I really, put on my work boots, put in the work, and really haven't looked back since.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely deserving of all of that love and so much more. And you describe yourself as an unknown warrior. What does that phrase mean to you today? And how did that become the title of your book?
So I have a not so subtle, shameless plug. I just gotta mention. Shout out to Amanda Varian, our editor.
Yeah.
Shout out to Greek U Publishing for helping me get this done. The cover is gorgeous. Heather
Beautiful.
Deegan Hires and Ruben Garcia. I feel like we need a little more love for the book, for the people behind the scenes that made it happen. Um, I was working at a super high-end restaurant in Rhode Island, and on Thanksgiving they had a typewriter and a guy writing like haiku poems for anybody that wanted them. And I was in the middle of my shift, and I was like, I want a poem. My manager was like, "You're working. Stop talking to the guy." And I told them that I was like, it's Thanksgiving, eating disorders, body image, all the things. And he wrote something, 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 always in recovery, unknown warrior. And that like hit me like a truck. I was like, oh my, like that just put every day of recovery into like two words for me because everybody is fighting a battle that we don't know anything about. Eating disorders thrive in secrecy. And what I really love about the title is it sparked people's interest and it makes people think that if it's not just eating disorders, it can be anxiety, depression, substance abuse, alcoholism, literally anything. We are all going through something. So I think it's something that you can really relate to. But for eating disorders specifically, you have to fight this every single day. You have to eat every single day, multiple times a day, every day for the rest of your life. That is exhausting and daunting and scary. And that you're a warrior. And if you're fighting this, you may lose some battles along the way, but you're going to win the war eventually. And I just thought that it was a really perfect way to sum up my journey and hopefully, inspire other people to see themselves as a warrior and not just somebody that, is struggling.
Yeah, that's an incredible title. And it's the first time I heard that story. That's so interesting.
Yep.
We're now seeing this documented rise in eating disorders nationwide, especially among college students, which is really that audience that you target, that you talk to all over the country. Why do you think that this surge is happening right now? And what are all of the advisors and parents and other people not seeing early enough?
So, and I don't have all the stats, I will find the statistics to back this statement up. I don't know if it's necessarily that eating disorders are and these conversations are on the rise. I think they've always been happening. I think people are just starting to talk about them more. I
Mm.
think they've always been happening on college campuses. I think people have always been struggling. It's just now people have found their voice. They have people that they can look up to talk about these things. And I think that they're just having a lot more of these conversations, and that's why they're noticing that it's being documented so much more simply because the conversations are being had, which is great because people are finding their voice, they're getting help, they're asking for resources, they're supporting one another, they're healing, they're doing all of the right things. But I think that similar to the spot that I'm in, I think that people realize that they don't want to live like that anymore. They learn that they deserve more than nights on their bathroom floor. They want to be able to eat and enjoy things. What I love about Fraternity Foodie is like you open every podcast by saying nothing brings people together like good food. And that's something that people that struggle with eating disorders don't get to enjoy. And you're robbed of so much when you're struggling that you deserve more than that. And I think people are finally realizing how strong they are. They're utilizing their support systems. I think that people are noticing now more than ever how important connection is. And they're really leaning into that and advocating for themselves and their friends and trying to get the help that they deserve.
Yeah, I think you're totally right about that. I think there's a lot more vulnerability today. People are a lot
Mhm.
more open about some of these issues, whether it be on TikTok or Instagram. I see a lot of people just outwardly talking about it and just kind of normalizing that in terms of, hey, like I need help and this is what I'm doing and follow me on the journey. Yeah, I just think people are much more open to talking about that publicly today. And you
Mhm.
actually share openly that eating disorders don't always look a certain way. So I'm wondering, what are some of those lesser known warning signs that students and chapter leaders should be watching out for?
There is no such thing as sick enough, and that is something that I wish I knew earlier. And so many people, after I give a talk on a college campus, they come up to me and they're like, maybe there actually like is something wrong because their eating disorders are portrayed as one extreme or another, and it's very difficult to try to fit yourself into a box and say, well, I don't meet the criteria, I'm fine, I don't deserve any of this help. There's no such thing as sick enough. If you are feeling that you are going through the day and you are not enjoying the life you're living because of your body, in my book, that's deserving enough of help. Some signs that were so normalized on campus when I was when I was in college was, skipping meals so they could wear a certain top when they go out later, or, not eating as much because they want to get drunk faster because alcohol has calories and they don't want to, put that much into their body. Purging after they're drinking, eating in your room because you don't want to eat in front of people. Cutting your food into super small things. Like there are so many things that we kind of find safety nets in when they're struggling. It's a super intimate struggle that a lot of people have. Everybody, and it looks different for everybody. So I think if you're concerned about a friend, or if you're an advisor worried about a student, I would definitely educate yourself on what eating disorders are, how they may present themselves, how they interact with other mental illnesses like OCD, ADHD, anxiety, all those kinds of things. And I would just simply ask, how are you doing? Or hey, I noticed that you did this. Don't be accusatory. Don't say we got to get you to treatment. Just, genuinely ask how they're doing. Sometimes a lot of people don't open up because they don't feel that they have a space to open up. So just opening that door and saying, hey, I'm here for you and I want you to know that I care about who you are. It's not about what you look like. I got your back. And letting them come to you can be super powerful.
Mm, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing all that. I know it's going to be super helpful for our listeners. Now, you founded this new organization and it's called Love a Stranger because what you needed most during your struggle wasn't a clinical voice, it was just another human. So, can you tell us about the moment that sparked the creation of this new helpline?
So I was a volunteer for the National Eating Disorder Association, and they replaced their volunteers with an AI chatbot called Tessa. And Tessa gave some not particularly helpful advice to people who were struggling and calling the helpline and were saying extremely harmful and negative things and honestly reinforced their eating disorder behaviors. So they got rid of all of it. And that was probably 2, 3 years ago. And in that moment, I said, I'm going to do something to fix this. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I said, I'm going to do something. And it kind of like planted the seed. And I that year wrote 300 letters to patients in an inpatient facility that were going through eating disorder treatment through the holidays, and just wanted them to know that somebody was thinking of them and that I believed in them and that they were capable and that they could do this. And I signed every single letter, Love a Stranger. I didn't put my name, I didn't put whatever. I just wanted them to know that somebody was out there and took a couple minutes to, think about them and send them some love. And as I was finishing up my master's, you know me, I always like to have a lot of different projects going on. I was like, now's the time to do it. And Love a Stranger is what we're going to call it. And I think that it's a really relatable thing. You know, when you're at Dunkin' Donuts and you like pay for the person behind you because you want to put like some random acts of kindness into the world.
Mhm.
And knowing eating disorders are so isolating. You feel like you're the only person going through it. And when your thoughts, your intrusive thoughts are so loud, you can't see the world around you clearly. So being able to get pulled out of that bubble and know that somebody out there will sit and talk to you, whether it's, you're sitting at the chapter house and everybody's talking about how they want to lose weight for the spring break trip coming up, or, you are at the gym and you feel like you're not trying hard enough. No matter what it is, you can text us because people are on their phones, young people are on their phones, and sometimes you don't always have a space where you can leave and go talk to somebody, and that seems really scary. So it's a super non-intimidating way to ask for help, and I am very proud to say that we are the only helpline in the country, predominantly focusing on eating disorders that you can text and call. So that I think is really, really important and a huge gap that I'm glad I filled, but I can't believe I was the one that filled it.
Wow. Well, that's just amazing. And I hope that this gets picked up all over the country. I hope that you're,
Mhm.
sitting, on national television telling the story, because I
Mhm.
think it's so important. And I love the fact that it's really peer-to-peer support when I
Yep.
think about things like hazing prevention that I'm passionate about or sexual assault prevention. Some of the most effective programs on college campuses are really that peer-to-peer
Mhm.
education because it hits in a way that's just different than somebody who is like me, 50 years old, telling these stories. And I love how you emphasize that what you built is not a crisis line, but instead
Mhm.
it's really a heart-to-heart support line. So, what does the peer-to-peer support offer that these traditional treatment or crisis systems often cannot offer?
I think it really opens the door for a lot of people. Like back to people thinking they're not sick enough. Like nothing about love a stranger makes it seem like you need to be a certain BMI to be deserving of help. It's very much just you can shoot us a text and it doesn't seem intimidating, it doesn't seem scary, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of requirement whatsoever. I would never want somebody to feel like they, aren't sick enough or that their eating disorder isn't bad enough that they don't deserve our help and that somebody else needs it more. It's a lot more like this organization was made for you. I've also, through talking with, we launched on November 10th and we've already reached 9 states. We've had the caller in Minnesota and California. We're really starting to reach all across the country. Um, a lot of people like that it's not therapy because sometimes I feel like even though the point of therapy is to literally it is about you and you can say whatever you need and your therapist has got your back and they're there to support you. I feel like sometimes we don't want to like admit to our therapist the bad thoughts. Or sometimes, it's sometimes we don't want to be told how to fix things. Sometimes it's just like, hey, today was really hard and I just want somebody else to know that I'm kind of struggling. And we say, all right, how can we support you today? What can we do to help? And they're like, kind of just want to vent. Cool. Go to town and let it rip and you can vent and you can say literally whatever you need. Or we've had some people that I always ask them, do you need a soundboard? Do you just want to vent? And we'll listen. Do you want advice? And we're not therapeutic advice. We're not giving clinical treatment, but we can, give you some, grounding exercises, some journal prompts, some things to maybe help you in that moment. Or do you want a distraction? And a lot of times the eating disorder thoughts can be so loud that you just need like a couple seconds to be pulled out of it. So we'll be like, all right, what TV show are you watching? And we'll talk about that. And they're like, you know what? My anxiety went from a 10 to a 4. And now I feel like I'm actually able to fight the thoughts. I'm able to use all the CBT that I learned. I'm able to use all of the skills that I've obtained in therapy. But I didn't feel like I could do that when my anxiety was so high. I was at a 10 and I just like, I didn't even know what way was up, what way was down. So we really give people a space to be able to use it in however they want. And my volunteers, they are the most incredible, phenomenal people I have ever met. I read some of their messages and I'm like, I couldn't have done a better job. I am so lucky to have them and I'm so glad that we found them. And I know that the team is only going to grow and I am so excited.
Good for you. I love seeing that you're helping people all over the nation, 9 states and counting. I'm sure that's going to grow very quickly after this episode airs. So I hope that they're all ready for an influx
I know.
of calls and texts.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings me to the next point, which is that I think you've done an incredible job working with students. I see the reaction that the students get when they sit in on your sessions. And it's
Mhm.
like it's a life-changing thing for them. I mean, they came
Mhm.
down to our table at NGLA in the Northeast and they just like mobbed you and they wouldn't
I know.
leave until you spent time with them. I mean, they weren't going anywhere. I saw them like in my face and they're like, "Where's Sarah? We're not leaving until she gets here." And I mean, that kind of reaction, I mean, is really reserved for like celebrities, I feel,
No,
right? Even Sarah.
literally.
Like, like you
Cut
don't
to the
see
clip. It's
that.
insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, you just don't see that every day. And so I
Yeah.
guess my point is that I think this is a widespread issue that we're not talking about enough. And I think it applies not only to sorority women, but also to fraternity men too.
Yep.
And so
Hmm.
I guess for all of the fraternity and sorority advisors that are out there listening, what is one practical change that we could implement? Let's say in the spring semester here, we're in December. What can we implement right away to better support students who are struggling with body image or disordered eating?
I would say tell your stories. That is like the most powerful thing that you can do. When somebody asks you, how you doing? If you're not doing great, you don't have to say, "Oh, I'm good," and brush it off. Be yourself, be a human being. You are in your chapters because they saw something in you that you may not have even seen in yourself before. Your sisters are there for you. Your brothers, I have seen so many chapters with such a strong brotherhood. And the thing that separates them isn't the events that they put on, isn't who they go out with, isn't anything. It's that they can sit and have a real conversation with the person and that they know the ins and outs of them like they're blood brothers. And I think that it's really awesome to see that uprise on the men be able to have these conversations. And I love when guys come into my talks because they like kind of like start like this, they're all comfy, they're getting into their chair, and then like the shoulders kind of go down a little bit, and then they like move in a little. They're like, maybe she kind of knows what she's talking about. Like I think it's really cool watching everybody leave the session. I love watching everybody come in. I love talking to them. We laugh, we cry, we do all the things. But watching them leave and knowing that I hit them in their gut rather than giving them a set of tools, giving them whatever. I want to hit them in an area that they don't get hit all the time. And because it's such a personal topic, I know that I have the ability to do so. So I really like to capitalize on that, in that moment and inspire them to go back and try to recreate that feeling with their friends, with their sisters, with their brothers, with their advisors. And I think just sharing your stories, being open, learn, educate yourselves, always find new resources, always, just be open to everything. And I think that we can all learn a lot from each other that way.
Yeah, I love that advice. Share your story. I think that's great. I think more and more people are sharing their story today, which
Yep.
is a wonderful thing. So I think we're making progress in that way. And I would challenge everybody out there listening that if somebody does ask you today, or how are you doing, instead of just saying fine and blowing them off, like maybe give them
Yeah.
a number, give them like a rating 1 through 10, and then
Yeah.
say not only a number, but also say why, right?
Hmm.
So basically say like, hey, I'm an 8 because I just spent time with my daughter and I haven't seen her in 6 months, right? It's like
Yep.
anything to just share how you're feeling at that moment. And give a little bit more meat on that bone rather than just saying, oh, I'm fine and blowing them off. Take that.
My New Year's resolution is to eliminate from my vocabulary living the dream and another day in paradise. If you catch me saying that, find me. Like I don't want to do because I even catch myself doing it and I'm like living the dream and I'm like no, they know I'm not. I'm like, why don't I just tell them what's going on? I'm like, you don't gotta like go deep in and be like, all right, this one time in third grade, like tell them everything,
Yeah.
but be like, I have kind of had a headache and I wasn't really feeling great, but I got this new shirt and now I'm feeling a little better. Like, just tell
Anything.
people,
Yeah.
spark a conversation, see what happens.
Yeah. The other thing that I love about you is you have this message that I think is so powerful as a speaker. And that message is that what you look like is the least interesting thing about you. So,
Mhm.
what do you want a student to actually feel when they hear that?
I want them. So I always say it and then I pause and then I always say it again. And I like watch the wheels turning. And I want them to feel it viscerally. I want them to feel like I just took their cap off on I am chapter president. And I'm like, yeah, you are, but that doesn't matter. You're Michael. What you look like is like I want them to feel like mask off. I am talking to the most authentic version of them. And that the next time they feel that they're inadequate, they feel like they're not enough, they feel all of these horrible things about themselves that we would never say to anybody else. We just think them about ourselves because we're our hardest critic. I want them to be like, what I look like is the least interesting thing about me. And like really think about what that means to you. And I love watching the wheels turn. I love stumping the students. I love just being like, mm-hmm. Like I start off every talk and I say, I was in your shoes. It's getting to be not like yesterday. It's getting to be a couple years that I was in their shoes. But I know what you're going through. I have been in a similar spot. And even if I haven't, walked in your shoes, I am somebody that you can relate to and I want to support you. And I think that that allows it to be more than just you know, something that like makes your heart grow. You really feel it everywhere. You feel it in your shoulders. You feel it in your feet. You feel like if the day that somebody tells me that they were listening to me talk and they took their tongue from the roof of their mouth and like relaxed it, that's gonna be like I made it. I'm good. I don't ever have to speak again. I got somebody to relax so much that they felt it everywhere in their body. Yeah, I just want them to really take that sentence and let it hit them however it needs because I think that it means a little something different to everybody and I love hearing how it impacted them.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. That's really, really good. So, how can all of our student listeners get involved? Maybe they want to volunteer or somehow, some way support the mission of Love a Stranger. What should they do if they want to get involved?
Follow us on Instagram. We are loveastranger.org. Our website is loveastranger.org. My personal Instagram page, my website, my book is on Amazon. Bookings at Greek University. Is that right?
Yep, .org.
Bookings at Greek University. Shoot, literally just comment on my Instagram post and be like, "Hey, I want to talk." I literally give my number out to everybody. I should probably stop doing that one day. Um, but I have said probably since I was, I don't know, 18 that I want to save the world. So anybody that wants to hop on the bandwagon and be a part of it, there is a place for you because I cannot do it by myself, and we are happy to have you. But yeah, love a stranger and Sarah.Cal on my Instagram, or just message Mike and he'll direct you to me.
That's fantastic. So I want everybody listening, go on this Instagram, Love a Stranger org. Go to that Instagram and just leave a comment for Sarah and just say,
Leave a
hey,
comment.
love the interview on Fraternity Foodie, or just a message of support, anything, honestly, like
Hmm.
literally anything that would make
Hmm.
Sarah's day. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. And
Yep.
Sarah, I have to tell you, I mean, the amount of growth that you've done in the last couple of years is just awe-inspiring. I mean, it's just look at that the interview that we did a couple of years ago when you first joined Greek U, and then go back and look at this interview, and you are going to see so much growth that I mean, your mouth is going to hit the floor and be like, I don't even know who this person is anymore.
I was gonna watch it before and I was like, I can't go into this interview crying. So I was like, I'm gonna watch it after. I was like, I really can't because I'm gonna cry now and I didn't even watch it yet. So I know when I see little baby Sarah that was like, I'm not even a speaker with Greek U. I kind of want to write a book one day and no, I'm not getting my master's. Why would I ever go get my master? Like, if I could go back and tell her anything, it would be buckle up because we've got a lot of things coming. Give
Yeah.
tight hugs, drink your water, and buckle up because we've got a lot coming your way.
Oh my God. Like it's just night and day. The amount of
Yeah.
growth is just, I mean, nobody can deny it. I mean, just look at it and I think you're gonna see baby Sarah and just be like, holy cow, girl, you
Oh my
got so
God.
much coming your way. You have no idea.
Yep. Yep. I told you when I joined Greek U, I said it's gonna take me a minute, have a little faith. And I think I told you, I was like, we're gonna get to a point where I can say, you did the right thing by hiring me. Are we there yet? I think
I
is
think
this
we're
the
there,
moment where I
yes.
can say, I think we did it? I've been waiting for the right time, and I think second podcast is the one where it's okay. I hope I made you proud. We did it.
Yes, I am very proud of you, Sarah. You've just done incredible, incredible work, and you've impacted so many people in a positive way. And that's really what the Greek University mission is really all about. It's just
Yep.
helping other people, and you've done that. And so
Hmm.
just know that I'm super proud of you, and the growth is just astounding. Just watch the two episodes back to back, and nobody's going to deny it. Be like, yep. Like incredible, just absolutely phenomenal. So keep up the great work. I hope you get a ton of volunteers, a ton of helpers for Love a Stranger. I think it's incredible. If anybody wants to bring Sarah to your campus, just go to greekuniversity.org/Sarah and you can
Hmm.
see her programs, her bio, and get a hold of me. We will get you to her campus. And by the way, all the reviews are just like through the roof. I mean, everybody that has brought Sarah to their campus, their students absolutely love her, and the reviews are phenomenal. So just ask
Hmm.
me for those reviews. I'd be glad to provide that for you. So,
Yep.
to anybody listening, if you learned something today with this conversation with Sarah, I want you to share this episode with your chapter. Just throw the link in a group chat or share it on social media. You never really know who needs to hear Sarah's message today. You have no idea. But that
Yep.
one person, it's going to be so worth it. So please share it. And Sarah, you're the best. Thank you so much for being on our episode today.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later, Mike.
All right. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed it, please let us know, share it, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Bye for now.